Hey, what is up you guys? In this video we are going to be covering a couple of great trap drum patterns you should learn right now. Hopefully they'll inspire you for your next beat. If you haven't checked the link in the description yet, you can go there. It's a Gumroad store where there's a bunch of free stuff for you to download, and it won't be there forever, so be sure to check it out, especially if you're new to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into the examples. Okay guys, and obviously for copyright purposes, I can't post the original song on here, so feel free to open another tab, listen along as we talk about it. But what you're seeing on the screen is essentially a recreation of the pattern. Let's take a listen to everything and then talk about it. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see we have this very simple hi-hat pattern. We're in a tempo of 168, and you can see it's very simple. It has this kind of gap in the beginning, which is kind of interesting. And then you have the claps, which are landing on beat 3 of every measure. And beat 3 and beat 1, but beat 3 especially is considered that strong beat. And we also have an alternative clap that's much more sporadic in the pattern. It has these very huge jumps in velocity, so it's very quiet at times and louder at times. And the darker clap I actually put on basically like a bandpass filter to make it darker. And if we take a look at the 808 pattern, I'm combining an 808 sample with a kick, and you can see in the kind of purple violet color here on the bottom, this is the 808 tone. It's moving in a natural minor scale going down. The song that you're hearing is Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD, so a classic emo trap hit. Alright, so what I thought was amazing about this song is when you take the actual 808 and drum beat from the song, it sounds so open, kind of empty, kind of slow. And this is actually Industry Baby by Lil Nas, which has been a huge hit song, more in the pop trap kind of genre. And it's crazy. When you take away the horn section, which is such a distinct, important element to this song, once you take away the vocals, it's very sort of sparse. There's not a whole lot going on. You can see the hi-hats. It's very sparse. There's a roll here, and then it gets busier towards the end, right? We take a look at the open hi-hats. They're kind of added in lightly here on the first and third measure on the weak beat. So the second beat of each of these measures, so that's considered the weak beat. And then you can see here, these are your snares. The snare is missing from that fourth measure. The horn section actually plays that riff at the end. There's not a whole lot going on with it when you really add in the drums. You don't have to make a very busy hi-hat pattern. You don't have to make a very busy snare pattern. You don't have to include the snare or the clap on the strong beat of every measure. It could be missing. It's kind of surprising sometimes. And this is what Industry Baby sounds like when you take away the main riff and the main vocal. All right, so let's take a listen to this next example. So this kind of goes along with going back to that simple 16th note hi-hat pattern. It never actually changes. It just kind of goes very steady throughout. The 808 is just playing the tonic of the song. So a lot of times you'll have a loop that's very interesting sounding and you're not exactly sure what the 808 should be doing. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is just play the tonic, which is the root note of the key. And then the kick is just following the same exact pattern. And they do this really quick 30-second note roll here at the very end of the phrase. I think that's just really cool. And that's it. That's the whole song. So this is Wants and Needs by Drake. A very kind of rap focused track by Drake. All right, so here's our next track. So what I love about this song is how different it is from Wants and Needs. in so many different ways. You can see there's not a whole lot of drum elements either. There's only 4 different things, including the 808, which is pretty crazy. So this song is Zeze, or Zeze, really great song, and it has, you know, this very distinct steel drum loop within it, vocal ad-libs by Travis Scott, really great hook in the vocal. It's got a lot of stuff going on within it, and when you break down the actual drum pattern that they're using, it's very simple. So you can see here this first element landing on all the strong beats. So we talked about strong beats before, that's what's happening here. Then we add in this next element. Now what I love about this is the hi-hat is literally just making space for those claps. And then you can see here, we add in this odd rim shot that's kind of just thrown in there to add a little extra syncopation. And that's basically it. So you add in the 808 and this is what you end up getting. All right, so here's our next example. Let's get right into it. All right, so this is actually one of my favorite songs in all the examples we picked out because I just love this pattern. This is actually Drip Too Hard by Gunna. So this is a really cool song. I mean, for a lot of reasons. The one thing that I like so much about this song is the way it uses hi-hats and does a lot of pitch changes. I have a video on YouTube about specifically doing this technique and other techniques in your hi-hat tops. Also some faster subdivisions, this little roll here as well. So really cool pattern. When you mess around with pitch and with rolls, it kind of creates sort of an idea that you want to express in a less random way through those 4 measures. It's like if you do pitch changes in your hi-hats or rolls, it's good to put them in meaningful places, not just do it randomly because you think you should have it, right? And this song is like really good at doing that. The pattern makes a lot of sense with everything thrown in. Here you have this classic 808 rim shot sound, which everyone is like kind of thinking like, what's that sound? What's that rim sample? It's from an 808. And it's totally absent from the second half of the rhythm, which is really cool. And again, we go back to using an 808 that uses a specific scale. So in this case, the natural minor scale, you can see we start on the root note, the key of the song, we drop down, and then we go to the minor third, the major second, and the minor 7th intervals of that natural minor scale. So it's very important to know what key your loop is in that you're making your beat with. It's gonna help you with your drum patterns and your 808 bass line as well. So that's all the examples we have for now. Please be sure to leave a comment below if you found this content useful or interesting. I'd be happy to make more of them. And yeah, see you in the next video.